Today we're going to watch a debate in relation to illegal immigration. So a caller is going to call into the LBC show. His name is Phil and he's very based. He's going to expose the immigration situation currently at hand in the United Kingdom. And to be fair, the majority of people, you know, with common sense in the United Kingdom will agree with what Phil has to say. You know, you can't just allow this to carry on, honestly. Like, no country in the world allows this. And to say that the UK should carry on adopting this failed immigration policy is simply unsustainable. The UK cannot sustain this. You know, the UK taxpayer, you know, shouldn't even be paying for this. You know, there should be a sensible immigration policy. But anyway, Phil's going to be met with Simon. Simon is a wokey. And to be fair, as soon as Simon started talking, he started off with insults. So he's basically insulting Phil, that's talking a lot of common sense. And he started off with insults and he's saying, don't you have any sympathy in your heart for these guys? And he's just going to carry on with this woke leftist talking point that's just currently failing and nobody wants to hear that BS. You know, so yeah, well done to Phil on this. Honestly, he's a stand-up guy and he's speaking a lot of common sense. Let's watch what he has to say now.
For once, Starmer's actually doing the right thing.
Tell me why.
Because trying to stop the people trying to cross it over here illegally. Come through the proper channels. Why spend £3,000 or £4,000 on a ticket to a smuggler when you can walk up to your embassy, get your visa, get your paperwork, buy a ticket to come across the channel for 55 quid, and then come over and go through the proper cycles. Go, once you land in England, then go to your embassy. You've now got over $3,500 in your pocket. Book yourself into a hotel. Go up, find your local embassy. Go up and actually apply for asylum. Don't come over in a boat and risk your life with a life jacket. There's no need. So why are you doing it?
So you say just turn up as normal and apply for asylum?
Of course. Why not? If these people are genuine asylum seekers, everybody keeps trying to tell us, look, I'm not heartless. And I totally agree. If someone is in fear of their life, they're being persecuted and they're running. At the moment, they're running away from France. They're not running away from Uganda or any of the other foreign countries where they've got a gun against their head. These are people which are leaving the French.
Some of them are under duress. Not all of them are, but some of them are under duress where they've agreed a journey from a long way further than France. And part of that agreement is they have to go all the way to France.
And what's the percentage of that then?
I couldn't say.
Exactly. The majority of them are just jumping on a boat because it's a quick way of coming in, getting housed, getting put in. And I've gone through this with people and friends and colleagues.
Well, they'd still, if they came over your way, they'd still need housing and while their assessment was made. Let's bring in Simon and you two can talk to each other. Simon, I know you disagree with what Phil said.
Do I have to talk to him?
Come on, you can do it.
Go for it, Simon.
One at a time. Hang on, Phil. Go on, Simon.
He is he's the epitome of everything that's wrong with this country. You're a disgusting man, Phil. Do you know that? You're a disgusting man.
Come on. Keep it civilised.
I love you.
Hang on, Phil. Simon, keep it civilised. Challenge his views.
What's he laughing at?
I don't know. I'll fade you down, Phil, so you don't keep giggling. Go on, Simon.
What an idiot.
Good.
So these are human beings that are being used as a weapon for political gain, for this constant appeasing of far right and right wing politics. This is all that's happening here. These are human beings; they're not animals. And Phil, at what point in your life, right, would you deem it acceptable for a situation or a person to take away your choice?
Of what?
Part of being a human being is that you have choices, and these people. You're going to shut up and listen, or what?
He is. Go on, Phil. Go on.
I'm just agreeing. I'm just saying.
All right. But okay. Carry on, Simon.
So you agree that it's important as a human being to have the ability and the freedom to make choices, yeah?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, go on.
Right. So there's no difference then between you and these people, all right? But they're not allowed to make free choices because of the political system that we have. And that then dehumanises them. They just want a better life. And if you were in the same situation, you would want a better life. And it would force you to do things that you have to bend the system, bend the rules in order to make the choices that you make. They are not coming from France. They are travelling through France to get here to choose to claim asylum. And people like Nigel Farage and people like, at the moment, Keir Starmer, for God's sake, who I voted for, are using these people as a political weapon to get people like you, Phil, wound up.
Mate,
and it's not right.
You don't like me.
All right, well, let Phil respond, Simon.
You don't even know me. So don't put me in a category. Look, I've just said to you, if people are persecuted with a gun to their head, either whether it's like fear of their lives for political or whatever reason, yeah, fine. But come through the system. They're not forced onto them boats. They climb onto them boats. They pay 3 or 4 grand to climb onto them boats. Use that money to actually come over in a normal, sociable way that they're quite entitled to do so. I have no problems with that. And then come through the system and then do it legally. They are illegal. I'm terribly sorry, mate, but that is the terminology. They are illegal. And we cannot afford to keep on dumping it.
Well, it's not, Phil. Phil, it's not.
We don't have the finances.
All right, now, Phil, it's not the terminology. It is described as irregular migration, not illegal. It's described as irregular migration.
Guys, I'm sorry, I'm tired of this. What do you mean irregular migration? Is it not illegal? Oh my days, wokeness or whatever this is just killing, common sense, what's meant to be common sense discourse in relation to immigration. They're illegal. It's very, very simple. What Phil is saying is facts. They're paying big money. They're going through France, coming here. Don't just give me that talk about, they're going through France. No, they're choosing not to stay in France and to take that extra journey to the United Kingdom because they're incentivized to do so. For God's sake, stop lying. You even got immigrants coming over like Madapasa and other guys on TikTok. It was going viral on TikTok saying, look how I'm going to get to the United Kingdom and look what's going to be waiting for me. Everyone else, come along. They're not really fleeing for their lives, honestly. Let's just stop that now. We've used that. The left has used that. It hasn't worked. It's a lie. Let's just talk honestly now. Phil's the only one talking sense.
Migration, when they come and apply irregularly but apply for asylum, they are not illegal. They are asylum seekers. If they do a runner and then start working under the radar, they're illegal.
No, they're illegal. Look, can I go to France? Can I go to France?
I'm just telling you what the law is, Phil. You can shout at me if you like, but no,
I'm not shouting. I'm not shouting. I'm just trying to answer your question. What's your terminology for illegal then? If I go to America, how do I get into America without a passport, a visa, and the right documents?
It depends what you're doing there. If you're sneaking in under cover of darkness to go and commit crime all over the place, you're a criminal and you're illegal. If you're coming in... Hang on. No, listen to the end of my sentence. If you arrive there and say, hello, nice border guard in Hudson Bay, I'd like to claim asylum from, I don't know, Guatemala, can you help me? Then you're an asylum seeker.
I'm Guatemala. I'm coming from England. I'm coming from England, not Guatemala.
All right.
If I travel, no, Sheila, please, you shut me up for a minute. But basically, let me just say, basically, if I travel anywhere in the world without the necessarily required passports, visas, or documentation, and try and cross into that country any other way than a noted form of transport, that is illegal. You can use terminology.
No, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not dancing on the head of a pin here, Phil. I'm just telling you, wherever you come from, if you land at the shores of a country and claim asylum under international law, certainly those who are signatories to it, the Convention on Refugees, the country has to give you a hearing and assess whether you can have asylum, and they can reject that claim.
So why do we bother having passports and visas and documentation? We don't need them, do we?
Because most of us aren't refugees claiming asylum. We're privileged, lucky citizens who don't have to do that.
They're already in France, where it's actually they've been accepted into the country. They're sitting in the country quite safe. They're not being chased over the channel, but the gendarmes are watching them coming over and helping them.
So we in the UK, in this global movement of people, we in the UK should be uniquely protected from it because of the channel.
We should be, well, hang on a minute. Why uniquely? It counts for every country. So uniquely. So
no, what I mean is...
New Zealand. Hang on, Sheila.
All right, okay.
No, you mentioned water. How do you get into New Zealand then? How would you get into New Zealand?
Yeah, by the water.
You not cross water? Exactly. So you're talking about channel and water.
No.
But the water.
All right, Phil, the only reason I said that to you is you said they're in France, for God's sake. And I said, so are you saying that because at that point in France... there is a stretch of water, Britain should be protected from any arrivals for asylum claims, any arrivals because of this mass migration of people that the whole world is witnessing and experiencing. Britain should be uniquely protected from it simply because where France ends, the water begins and we're at the other side of that water. So we shouldn't have to deal with it.
I believe any country that's actually got its borders and border control should be in control of those borders and control, so we know who is coming in here and what is coming in here. Not to have people just jump on a boat and walk across.
All right. Well, let's give Simon a chance now. Go on, Simon.
I mean, look, there is no safe and legal route for these people. If there was, then anybody coming in on a boat after that, then, I'd be a lot happier to refuse them entry, but these people don't have a chance. I want to ask Phil...
Well, some do.
Is Phil going to vote for reform?
No, not necessarily at all. I've got my own views. I'm not going to...
it's a simple question. Simple question.
Well, he answered it. He said not necessarily. Go on, Phil, elaborate.
No, I'm in the wilderness at the moment because I have not got a clue to vote for, because none of them have got a clue what they stand for at the moment at all. Nobody. So I'm in the wilderness, quite frankly.
Why did you ask that question, Simon?
Because I want to know if he sounds like a reform voter, let's face it, and I wanted to know what would be more important to him. Less migrants coming in and maybe being extra cruel to human beings, or the prospect of him having to pay for healthcare and ignoring climate change. Do you know what I mean? What's more important in the grand scheme of things? Because let's say he is going to vote for reform, it's people like him that are going to drive this country into ruin. Because they fall for this narrative that is fed to them by bad people with agendas. And they fall for it. Because Phil, to me, you're the victim here. Because you fall for the nonsense.
Go on, Phil, respond to that.
All right. Okay. Well, no, I'll take his sympathy, if that's what he thinks. If he thinks I ain't got a brain of my own, I'll take his sympathy. I'll be honest with you, I don't speak to anybody. Simon's an exception, and I mix in quite a circle of people, but I haven't had this conversation. The majority of people I talk to, the majority have the similar or same views as myself on this issue. So you always get people which actually, yes, okay, I do sympathise. And obviously I'm not a nasty, I can't swear then, I nearly did. But basically I'm not a nasty person, okay? And I do have my own views on certain things. But on this particular item, no, I totally agree with Starmer.
All right.
And it's funny enough, I don't agree a lot with Starmer, quite frankly.
So for you, that direct communication has really worked in the video.
Been in force long enough. He's not been in force long enough. So
but the communication has impressed you. The manner of that video and what he's saying in it, that's got your attention.
I haven't actually seen the video, to be honest, Sheila. I only heard what you just played back to me in about the last half an hour.
Okay, well, that's the bare bones of it, really, apart from the pictures. Final thought on this, in this ding-dong of a debate from you, Simon.
I just think that he is just a classic example of a victim that's fallen for this nonsense. These people have been weaponised in order to further political gains, and I'm absolutely disgusted with Labour. That's not the party I voted for. And Phil, you are a victim, mate. You and all your mates that get sucked in by the right-wing press and the narrative that's fed to you, you are a victim.
Guys, apparently Phil is a victim for just saying that this is unsustainable. So basically what Simon wants is he wants no borders and everyone to just pour into the United Kingdom at the expense of myself and yourself and the general British public to fund. No safeguarding, no nothing. Anyone can just come in and that's what he's basically saying. So it's crazy. People like Simon, honestly, criminal gangs that run these dinghies love people like Simon, honestly, because he's going to carry on parroting the narrative, sympathizing, he's going to come with that woke, ultra left view, and he's not going to wake up and understand what's really going on here. He's not. And for him to gaslight Phil and say, are you going to vote for reform? It's like, what's that got to do with you, who he votes for? He can vote for whoever he wants. You voted for Labour. Like, what's worse than Labour right now? Are you kidding me? Like, you can't gaslight anyone. You can't shame anyone for who they vote for because you literally voted for Labour. Labour stand for nothing. What are you talking about? Labour stand for absolutely nothing. They're only taking a This isn't, by the way, guys, this is just propaganda. Labour aren't taking a strong stance on immigration. It's really just propaganda because they're scared of reform. And that's why they're doing this, honestly. If there was no threat from reform, I promise you, you don't get these videos that Labour put out. So they're just doing it because they're scared, and then eventually they'll move on to something else. They're flip-flopping. They flip-flopped, honestly. So they don't stand for anything, and that's just the truth of the matter. Anyway, guys, that was actually a good debate. I enjoyed it. You know, it was nice, but yeah, Phil came with it. Easy work for Phil. He won that. Guys, I'll catch you in the next video.